So we're now in this last and final quarter of the year, so the infamous Q4. If you're an e-commerce business, an e-commerce brand owner, an online store owner, or even have a physical store, you know how profitable this period of the year can be for you. What if I told you that you could actually double your usual numbers, or dare I say triple them, with a little planning, a tiny sprinkle of market research, and watching through this whole video, you'll be set to advertise and market your product through this last and final period of the year. In this week's video, I'll be showing you an example of a Q4 e-commerce marketing calendar, how that kind of looks like for some of our clients, and help you achieve that with your own brand. My name is Justin, and I'm the founder of Wizo Media, an e-commerce marketing agency specializing in growing e-commerce brands through paid ads. So Q4 truly begins at the end of this month. We're currently in October 2021, so towards the end of the month, this is where I'd say Q4 really begins, even though it actually began a few days back. But the thing is that this is where you'll start actually advertising and marketing your products in a little different way than you usually would. So let's head over to the computer. I'm gonna show you a bit of a structure of how this kind of looks like from the end of October all the way to the end of 2021, as well as beyond. So what can you do post Q4? How can you start the year strong? So I've got a whiteboard opened up in front of me right here. You're gonna see my beautiful drawing, and that's sarcasm right there for sure. Maybe a little hard to follow, but I'll try and explain as I go through my plan and what I mean by pretty much everything that's going to be showing up on screen for you guys. So that said, and as I just mentioned, your hype up period and your Q4 period truly begins at the end of October. So what this kind of looks like, and usually we're going to go through that same or similar structure for the few campaigns that I'm about to show you right now, but there's going to be a hype up period. So you start with the hype up, which leads into a bit of a VIP, or let's call it VIP actually for now. And this actually also leads eventually to a little later actually to the actual event. So let's just put E for event. So that said, essentially the hype up here, let's say for Halloween, you can start about 5 days before the actual event or the event that you would have. From there, you start your hype up period. And what I mean by that is that you advertise to people, to your current audience. Could be mainly focused on retargeting, but also a little bit of cold. What you want to do is get people to perform a certain action for you. So in 99% of these cases, and this is one of the first times, actually not one of the first times, but I'm going to talk a little bit more in depth about that today, which was going to be email marketing. So I don't talk about this really often on the channel. We're mostly focused on paid ads, but email marketing is a go-to for any brands. It's definitely a part of our service offering in the sense that we do that for clients because it complements ads. So all of that is sort of wrapped around together under the same umbrella. And you need, if you want to have good ads, you also need solid email marketing and vice versa. So that said, right here, you launch ads, you run ads, basically ad campaigns teasing an upcoming event, an upcoming sale, a huge event that's about to come right now. And you're telling people that, hey, in advance, you'll be able to either get a discount, get some access early. So that's what you do with VIP here. It's either, a promo. So you either get a certain discount. So, it could be a 5, 10, 15% off, additionally to what the actual percentage is. I'd, say to keep it low if ever it's an additional discount to what's already going to be live, or it's just priority access. So that's also something that could work and does work for many brands. So what you want to do is, if you have a really strong following or there's an advantage to people buying first, could be you have limited stocks, right? So if you want to basically give an incentive to people to buy early, tell them there's limited stock, there's not going to be a lot. So make sure to basically subscribe to our email newsletter, and then we'll send you an email in advance before everybody else, and you'll get priority access to such products. So that's something that you want to do. Could be done again for Halloween. So you start that again a couple of days prior to the actual date. So let's say the actual event is on the 31st of October. So what you would want to do here is potentially start this, a week before. So it could be on the Monday. I'm not too entirely sure of the dates right now in mind, but you'd want to start that at least a week in advance, essentially prior to this event. Run the ads, get people to subscribe to your newsletter. Could also be done organically, but could be good to run some ads too. It's basically almost like lead gen ads at this point. So let me minimize all of this right there because we are going to come back to that a little later, but that starts right there. It's safe to assume that that's roughly about from October 22nd. So let's just put that right there. October 22nd to the 31st. That's roughly the first time that you'll start advertising, such an offer. And if that's, phase one, then now let's jump into phase two right here, which, oh man, the drawing is already getting a little bad. But if we hop into phase two, that's more for the November side of things. And this is where things really get serious, where you're gonna see lots of differences on advertising platforms like Facebook. So in this period, CPMs will start to go up. You'll essentially be paying more to get similar results. So that's why you will need to up your ad spend, but it's also going to be a lot more of a profitable period for you. So you up your ad spend just on a certain basis to cover the CPMs, and you up it even more to basically accommodate or to help you get those sales for that period. So it's definitely can be a super profitable period for your brand. So what you do in this phase two is essentially the same scenario as what you had with the Halloween. So you sort of copy and paste that. Let me bring that back over there. Though with this, you tease this a little differently, right? With Halloween, you can talk about Halloween, right? You say, hey, Halloween is coming up. We've got an event. There's something, about to launch really soon. Could be a really interesting promo. Make sure to give us your email, and then you'll have priority access to this event. So similar thing for November. So what you want to do with that is you hype up, and that I would start much earlier than a week in advance. So you start that around November 10th, to November 15th. So somewhere around that. From there, essentially, you start running these ads or start giving huge incentives for people to get through the email. This is where I'd give an additional promo and priority. You want to make sure that you fill up your email list as much as possible during this period, because these guys will be eager and really, really happy and excited to buy your products during this sort of event. So during this, you ask people to subscribe to your email newsletter. You send them, you get them through a flow on Klaviyo where they receive a certain discount. You start teasing them, some stuff. Then let's assume this event is on Black Friday. So let's just call it BF for now, not for boyfriend, but for Black Friday. So let's assume this is on Black Friday dates. Then what you want to do is a few days, I'd say 2 days prior to Black Friday. So basically 2 days before Black Friday, what you want to do is give, this is where you actually want to give the discount or the priority access to these guys. So I'd say 2 days before Black Friday is where you would actually give the priority. So this is where things start, running for the promo. And then 2 days prior to that, so if we go another 2 days, you would give essentially the promo. So from there, you could give people an additional 5% off, that certain promo. Say, hey, we're just getting there, priority access is coming real soon. Stay tuned. But in the meantime, here's 5%. So as soon as this promo launches, you'll be able to hop on there and get an additional discount. So all of that here would basically start on the 22nd of November, right? So on November 22nd, and let me just correct the dates, I guess, over here. November 22nd, you give out the promo. Then right here, let me just erase that real quick and say that on the 24th of November, again, you would give the priority access, and on Friday the 26th, this is where you'll release the promo to everyone essentially within your audience. So on that date, and essentially that should usually run for 4 days. It's common within the e-commerce industry to run your promo from the Friday to the Monday, because on Monday is the Cyber Monday. So 26, 27, 28, and 29th. So a 4-day promo essentially here, essentially for your brand, and from there, you advertise heavily, on all the channels that you've already found success from. So all of this phase right there is all about building emails. So you build your email list, you focus heavily on emails. You want to make sure that you have as many emails as possible within your list to create this initial hype. Then right afterwards, essentially right here on the event, you focus on platforms like Facebook. So right over there, heavily focused on Facebook ads. And even then again here, for the hype up and get people to basically give you their emails, you can still run ads for such a thing. Now let's minimize this once more, and let me give you actually a quick tip that I shared with some of our clients last week, especially a part of the ones a part of our email newsletter. So in that, what we did is we recommended that people would launch the Black Friday promo a little earlier. Why? Well, during that weekend, this is where CPMs will be at their highest. This is where it will cost you the most that you've probably ever spent on ads just to get people to see your ads. So CPMs will start to reach, all-time highs during this time, but a few days prior, actually, they're gonna be drastically lower. So what you can do is launch that promo a little earlier. So you're gonna get lower CPMs, and what you're also gonna get is the market share, before your competitors. So let's assume basically you're in the consumer electronics industry. So if you're into that, then chances are that most of your competitors that sell, similar stuff as you. So let's say you're selling phone accessories. Well, their phone accessories will also be off on that weekend. So if everybody is off, then people have equal chances of buying from you, from a competitor, from pretty much anyone else. So what you want to do is if you launch this event a week prior, let's say, so if all of this is sort of moved back by a week, it could definitely help you actually build this list faster and also sell more than some of your competitors. This all comes to knowing your market, knowing your customer behaviors, but we'll definitely try this out for one of our clients at least, and we know it's going to be a winner. They did that last year, worked amazingly well, so we're just going to replicate that and just pump it up even more with the ads and email side of things. Now, a product launch. So once you've gone through this end period of October, you went through from first week of November all the way to the end of November, you did lots of emails, lots of wipe up, lots of ads about promos. So now about a product launch. So let me just write that right here, PL, for a product launch. There's two places which it would actually make sense for you to launch new products or new collection during this time. The first one is early November. So early November is your first option. That's option number one. The other one is early December. Why? Because with these two times, essentially, you're right in between advertising cycles. So early November, you just advertised for your Halloween. You're just a little bit before the Black Friday. So it's a really good time to launch new products and to actually get them to be on sale during the Black Friday period. So that's, the first option. The second option that you have is advertising that early December. So now people a little bit more fatigued, they've bought quite a lot potentially on the Black Friday, but you come up with some new hype again, you launch some new products, and then you can sort of revisit this hype phase. And then once you've launched, this product, wherever you've done that, or, would it be early November, early December? So if you did that early November, and that's perfectly fine, you did this, you went through your Black Friday promo, and now you are ready for something else. If you've done that in early December, so in both cases, what you want to do is after your Black Friday period, so right at the beginning of December, every company has different shipping times. So what you want to do is take into account your current shipping times. So let's assume that to ship products, let's say to your customers who are mainly in the US, they can get, if you want them to get their items right before Christmas. So let's assume, and in all cases, I'd say let's assume on the 23rd, because we know that 24th, 25th, there's a little bit more delays, honestly, close to Christmas. So if you want people to get their products by the 23rd of December, then you want to calculate when essentially is the good time to ship those at, and essentially when would people maximum be able to order a product and get it before the 23rd. So if we assume that essentially before the 18th of December is your date, so from early December all the way to the 18th, you advertise for Christmas shopping. So essentially from December 1st to, again, I'm just assuming here it's the 18th, you advertise heavily. So this is the main thing you want to do in this period. You want to advertise for Christmas. You're saying that, hey, during this period, we don't have a lot of stock. That's the maximum period that you can get essentially your products. So it's coming up to an end. Make sure you stock up on your Christmas purchases. Gift this to a loved one. So your end goals are all about Christmas shopping, gifting to a loved one, or gifting to yourself, treating yourself to something towards the end of the year. Then once you're getting close to the end, once you're getting close to the 18th, so let's say from the 16th to the 18th right there, you can do another sort of quick discount. So saying a bit of a flash sale. It's like, hey, 48 hours, it's your last chance for Christmas shopping. If you're a little late, if you haven't done your Christmas shopping yet, it's your last chance. So a little bit of urgency. helps you get some sales quick last minute for that. And during these times, honestly, you may want to start with a slow spend, especially December 1st. People a little bit tired. They've bought, in November. They may have bought quite a lot actually, so they may not be ready yet to buy again. So start slow and ramp it up as you're getting close to the end of the Christmas period where people can actually get their purchases. Then once all of that is actually done, you can move to the Boxing Day. So post Christmas. So now you've stopped advertising around the 18th. You give people a little bit of a break. You keep it, really slow, really low key, not that many, not that much content, because you don't really want people to purchase because they won't get it for Christmas. So you keep it super low key for the next couple of days. And then once you get to this post-Christmas period, so on the 26th, then there's the Boxing Day. So you can advertise for people essentially online. So from the 26th, I'd say to about the 30th, makes sense to advertise for that. So you advertise for post-Christmas period. To the essentially, again, it can be about treating yourself. Hey, have you received a gift on Christmas? Received, whatever that is, but you'd like to treat yourself even more. Some type of angles around this stuff, or even cross-selling people, could be amazing during this time period. So you go with your Boxing Day period here, and that's through organic and paid ads once again. And then you end things off, with your end of the year promo. So for the New Year's, that could be again from the 30th to I'd say the 2nd. So 30th of December again to the 2nd of January. From there, you advertise a bit of a New Year's event, and that's pretty much it. So this should be your Q4 marketing calendar. That's a pretty complete calendar you've got right there. If you follow this, obviously, I didn't go into too many details specifically for a certain niche brand or offer, but that pretty much looks like it if you run an e-commerce business. Now, as mentioned earlier, there was going to be a bit of a period where I'd say, post Christmas, post Q4, what happens? Obviously in January, you can expect a bit of a drop. That's normal. That's the usual thing. People have bought quite a lot. People have gifted, lost to their loved ones. So it's not really a period where people are looking to buy, honestly. And it's also a bit of a period where people are getting back to work. They're a little bit more, down. So the mental aspect of things also has to play with this. February is really where things start to pick back up. There's a little bit more traction. You have Valentine's Day, which is a really good place to advertise, essentially good offers, especially if you're running apparel and fashion, right? You can, let's say if you're in the women's business or industry, then you can advertise that to men and saying, give that to your loved ones. So a lot of cool offers that you can do during this time. But during January, there's a couple of things that you can still do. Product launches could be good, a soft launch, nothing too crazy or out of the ordinary, quick launches that will give you a couple of spikes. And it's also a really good time to focus on organic content. So organic content, as well as whenever or if you're still running ads, could be a really good time to focus on getting some more engagement to the page. So getting some more followers, getting some more people that see your brand and get exposed to your brand. Why? It's post-Christmas. There's still a few days where people are going to be a lot more on their phones. People are at home. They're browsing, their phones. They may have gotten new iPhones, new MacBooks, whatever that is. So people are more on the internet during this time period. And it's good essentially to be in front of people and not, not asking them for any sales or anything, just to saying, hey, check out our page, leave us a follow, give us a like, whatever that is. And it's a really good time to build your social media side of things. But it's really important to also plan your beginning of the year. A lot of people stop themselves at Q4. They're like, yes, we're going to make a lot of money during this time. We're going to be really profitable. We're going to go all in. But then the 1st of January comes in and they're like, oh, wow, what are we going to do? Sales are dropping. Nothing's going right. So plan it in advance. Expect to drop. It's going to be normal. Expect to drop, but also going to be a huge drop in advertising costs. Also, again, going to be a really good time to focus on other things, like even if you still want to continue ads, which I highly recommend you do, especially to build your social media, because it may seem counterintuitive, but you can pay or do ads, essentially do paid content to build your organic following. Now, if you're an e-commerce store or brand making at least $20,000 to $30,000 a month, I would invite you to click on the first link in the description down below and book a really short 15-minute demo call with my team. It's not too late for Q4 yet. We can still help you put up a plan and get you up and running for the end of October as well as November, and make this the most profitable quarter for your brand. Worst comes to worst, you leave this call with a free action plan for this next quarter, or a best case scenario, let's partner up together and make you as much money as you've ever made with paid ads. On that note, make sure you check out other videos on the channel for some more useful e-commerce marketing tips, and I'll see you guys in next week's video. See you soon. Peace.